Hi everyone, this is Sultan with Rex Theme, and in this video I'll show you how you can generate a product feed for Favi Compari and Arukereso. So let's get started. Favi is a pretty popular marketplace in Czech Republic and Slovakia to sell furniture and home decor. Alright, so any home appliances, home decorations, furniture, or anything you need for your house, such as basic household appliances, toiletries, and other furniture materials. Alright, you can get all that in Favi. Now, most WooCommerce store owners that sell furniture in Czech Republic or Slovakia, they tend to promote on Favi. And not only Czech Republic and Slovakia, Favi is also apparent in many other countries. This includes countries such as Poland, Italy, Sweden, Romania, Hungary, Croatia, and the United Kingdom. Alright, but it's the most popular in Czech Republic and Slovakia. Alright, now in this video what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how you can generate a product feed for Favi so that you can add your products to their marketplace through the Compari and Arukereso advertising format. Okay, so first I'm going to explain all the required product attributes that you must submit with all of your products to get accepted on Favi, and then I'm going to show you how you can generate a product feed for Favi using our plugin Product Feed Manager for WooCommerce. Okay, so what you're looking at is basically a list of all the required product attributes. Let me just go over them. The identification number or the identifier is basically a unique ID for your product, so you can use a WooCommerce product ID for this. The product name is basically the title of your product. If it's a variable product, it's best to add the variant term to the name, or if the product has any special feature, you can add that to the name, right? As you can see in the example, we have added the size, which is the variant for this product. Okay, then comes a product URL, which is the link to your product. Then there is the price including VAT. You need to submit the price of the product including VAT. All right, then comes the main image of the product. You need to submit at least one image of the product, which you can do using this attribute. Then comes the product category. Now this is basically a category that you need to submit according to Favi's mandatory category list. Favi has their own category list from which you need to submit the category for each of your products. Now don't worry, you don't have to change your categories in your WooCommerce store to achieve this. I'll show you how you can do that using one of the features in the plugin I'm going to use, which is called category mapping. Okay, then comes the product description. You can describe your product over here, and you can also style the description using some basic HTML tags such as paragraphs or bold, strong, or some other basic HTML tags. But other than that, other tags are not accepted, so these are the only ones that is accepted. If you need reference for this guide, I'm going to put a link to this guide in the description below, so don't worry about that. Then comes the delivery time. This is basically the time you take to deliver your product once the product is ordered. So usually you have the option 0 days, which is the same day delivery, 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days, whichever you do. You can just assign that as a delivery time. And then comes the product parent ID. This is basically mainly for the variable products. Okay, if you have a variable product with different variants, then all the variants should have a common group ID, which indicates that they are all variants of the same product. Okay, so these are the mandatory attributes. Now there are many other attributes that you can use if you want to, but these are not mandatory. So in this video, I'm just going to focus on using the required attributes, and I'll also give you an idea of how you can add extra attributes that Favi allows to promote your products exclusively. All right. So now let me move on to the plugin to show you how you can generate the product feed real quick. As you can see, I'm on the dashboard and I already have Product Feed Manager for WooCommerce installed and activated right here. Once you have the plugin activated, this is the menu you'll see on the dashboard menus. So first, what you need to do is you need to enable Favi as a merchant type. So go to Settings, and here go to the Merchants tab. So in this page, look for Favi Compari and Arukereso. So just use Command F or Control F from your keyboard, depending on Mac or Windows, and look for Favi. Okay, so here you can see I've already found Favi Compari and Arukereso. What I have to do is enable this, and once I enable this, I have to scroll up and go to the Controls tab. And in the Controls tab, you need to click on Purge Cache. So once this is done, you're now ready to generate a feed for Favi Compari and Arukereso. Okay, so now click on Add New Feed, and this will take you to a blank feed creation canvas. So initially give a name to this. I'll just name it Favi Feed. And next you have the option to choose what products to include. So here initially all published products will be included, but you can also use one of the filters here to choose which products to include or exclude from the feed. The refresh interval is mainly so that if you make any changes to your store, if you want this feed to be updated after a certain interval with those changes, then you can set up an interval here. You can set it to hourly, daily, or weekly as per your requirement. Okay. Now the rest of the options are pretty much configured. You don't really need to change any of this unless there are certain exceptions. Okay, but you can enable this option, which is include variation product name. What this does is for variable products, it adds the variant term to the product title. Okay, so I'm just going to mark this as yes and just leave the rest as is. Next, you can scroll down to the feed configuration section. So I just enabled Favi as a merchant type. So here you can see I have the option to choose the merchant type for feed generation. Here on the list, if I click on it, you'll see I'll find the option Favi Compari and Arukereso. Just click on this, and once you click on it, just below you'll see that all the required attributes for Favi are already listed here. Okay, so this is basically the Favi Compari and Arukereso template that we have in our feed. So you don't really need to do much of work here except assign the ones that are not assigned. Okay, the rest of them are already configured. Okay, you can see the identifier is configured with the product ID, the product name is configured with the product title, and so on. So you just need to configure 3 attributes, which is the category, the delivery time, and the manufacturer. Okay, so by default we have assigned a static delivery time of 3 days. If your time differs from this, you can change this. This is a static value. All right, and if you deliver different products in different times, in that case you need to save that value in a custom field for each of your products. And then what you can do is you can change this to attribute type and use that field name over here to assign the delivery time for each of your products. All right, for now what I did was I assumed that all of my products are deliverable in 3 days. So I'm just going to mark it as static and use the value as 3. So all of them will have the same delivery time. For the manufacturer, if you're the manufacturer yourself, you just give the name of your own company. So I'll just use my company's name here. But if you have different brand name, which means you're a supplier from different manufacturers, in that case what you can do is you can change this to attribute, and you can use the field name where you save the brand name. As you know, WooCommerce doesn't have a default field to save the brand name. So what you need to do is you either need to use a custom field to assign the brand name, or use product attributes to assign the brand name. Okay, so in that case you change it to attribute type and use those custom field value or the attribute value here. Okay, so for now I'm just going to use a static value with my company name. Okay, next comes the category. Now as I told you, Favi has their own list of categories. But obviously you don't want to change the category list that you have in your own store just because you want to promote on Favi. In that case, what we did was we introduced a feature called category mapping, which means you can map your store's category to Favi's categories without making changes to your own WooCommerce store. Now in a bit I'll show you how to use category mapping. Initially just configure the feed without touching category and just publish the feed. Okay, so I just clicked on publish and you can see the feed is generating. And once the feed generates, I'll have the option to view and download the feed. But before I do that, first let me go ahead and set up the category mapping. So what you do is go to the category mapping menu right here under product feed. And it will take you to this page. Here you can see it says add new category map, and all the categories in your store will be listed here, and each of them will have a field just beside it, which is Google Merchant category. just ignore the text here. So what you need to do here is you need to find out matching categories with your categories from the Favi category list. So let me just go over to the Favi category list. Now this link is included in the guide that I've created for Favi. I'm going to include a link to that guide in the description. So there you'll be finding this link to this list, where depending on your country, you can visit the link and find out the accepted categories. All right. So this is basically a list of categories that are accepted in Czech Republic. And so what you need to do is, for each of your products categories in your WooCommerce store, find out which Favi category does it match with. All right. And then you just need to copy that. So let's say, just for show, let's say my arts and crafts matches this one. Okay, so just copy this, then go back to category mapping and paste it in the field beside it. Okay, and that's it. So do the same for all the categories over here. All right, and then give a name to this. Let me just name it Favi categories. Okay, then scroll down and click on save. Remember, you need to assign a category for all the categories if you want the feed to be generated accurately. Okay, so once you save it, if you scroll up, you'll see that this has been saved right here. If you click on this, this will expand and you can make changes if you want to and save it again. Okay, so now I have already created a category map for Favi. Now it's time to assign this to your product feed. So you've just generated a feed for Favi without assigning the category, so that should be listed in all product feeds. So click on all product feeds, and here you'll see that the Favi feed that you created earlier is listed. Just click on edit. All right, and this feed is loaded. Now click on Purge Cache on the right side. Now once you do that, the page will reload. Now scroll down, and here for the category on the value field, just click on it and scroll to the very bottom, and there you'll see you'll have the option called Favi categories that you just created as a category map. So whichever name you give there, that is going to be here at the very bottom. All right, so I'm just going to choose Favi categories here, and now when I update the feed, my feed will include all the required data along with the category mapping that I have just set up. All right, now let me just view the feed, and you can see that all my products has been listed in this product feed in the right format using all the required attributes. And I also showed you that I assigned a static value for the manufacturer, and you can see that it's the same for all the products. I also set a delivery time to 3 days. All right, now you can see that the category is actually empty for most of my products. That's because I did not assign a category map for all my products, but I did assign it to one category, which is arts and crafts. All right, now I do have a product under that category, which is called lotion. Let me just look for that product. Sorry, and there you go. This is the product, and you can see under this product in category, I do have the category mapping that I set up earlier. All right, so when you set up category mapping for all the categories in your store, then all of your products will have the right category value over here. Okay, so that's it. And the next thing to do is to take this feed and upload it to your merchant account in Favi Compari and Arukereso. All right, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in one of my future videos. Take care.